Hey YouTube, welcome to JMO Rides. This is John. So I'm going to be working on this. So this is my 2021 Kawasaki KLX 300 Supermoto. I bought it with 470 miles on it. It wasn't in bad shape, but it was a little neglected. The headlight switch. The switch did not work. I had to actually repair that myself. I'll crack that open and show that in another video. The chain had probably never been lubed since the guy had bought it. It had been left outside. There was missing bolts, just things like that. Just minor maintenance type deals. Like even in the, I'm guessing this is like the spark plug drain tube here, and that actually had a mud dauber's nest in it, so I had to dig that out and clean it out and all that. But it's been a really good bike. I needed it because I was working on my car a lot and I just didn't have a car to drive. So yeah, but today's video we will be doing a TST Industries tail tidy. And I do have the LED flasher relay in the box. There is a instruction manual that is not model specific. It's just a general what you need to do with the resistors to try to get things figured out, just to get your lights working. I'm not going to be using the resistors. That's why I've got the flasher relay. But yeah, so the tail light itself actually looks like it's good quality. I actually really like the housing on it. It looks like it's sturdy, and I heard that this is pretty bright. So I'm pretty excited to see how this is on the bike. And this is our connector for the factory harness. Get the your brake light. And then you got your turn signals for the integrated turn signal. And then there is the license plate bracket, and then the actual tail delete. So I'm assuming it's going to go something like that, or maybe it's back here. I don't know. I'll look at it. But yeah, then they include a couple of zip ties. So I know there's definitely some excess wiring in here. Here are the resistors, which we will not be using these. They come with some piggyback connectors. And then you've got some countersunk screws with some countersunk washers, looks like. And another baggie with 2 lock nuts and 2 washers. And then this little baggie, it's got 3 screws and 2 washers in it. So yeah, let's start getting this put together. We'll go ahead and pre-assemble the actual light onto the tail delete. That way, when we get everything disassembled on the bike, it'll be ready to go. So yeah, you'll just run your harness in there. There's a grommet on here that guides the wires. You'll want to put that in there, inside that slot, and then you'll take the actual license plate bracket, and you'll slide it on in there. And then at this point is where you'll want to start to put your screws in. So there we have it. Let's start taking off the tail. Alright guys, so there are 3 bolts that need to come off for the number plates. One up here by the back of the seat, one up here underneath the center of the seat, And then there should be one here, but like I said, when I bought this bike, it was missing parts. But yeah, so we'll do that. We'll pull off this plate, we'll pull off the other plate, and then we'll have to remove the strap. And then once the strap is removed, then the seat should come off. I think these are all 8mm bolts. Oh yeah, guys, so another thing I want to point out is this is something that I always do. I forgot to point it out. But anytime I'm working on anything electrical, I always disconnect my battery terminals. Typically, I will disconnect both. But today, I think I'll be okay. And I'll either route the wire away from the battery, or I'll put a rag or something so that there's no contact made. But it's always a good idea to disconnect your battery when you're working on electrical connectors or anything like that, because the last thing you want to do is plop a fuse. So yeah, just always a good practice to do that. We'll pull up and then push the seat backwards and it'll come out. So there should be 4 8mm bolts inside the tool bag. Oh, that's right. These have the nuts holding them on. Just broken loose a handful, and I'll run them out. So this thing is super cheap, but it works great. Alright. Yeah, so there is a nut. There are nuts on the bottom of these. Alright. So there's our bag off. So there's what it looks like from the top. Now I know there's 2 more bolts. It's kind of hard to see. There's one here, and there should be one right there. We'll get those off, and I think the fender comes off. There's 2 more 8s that are right about here. And then it should come off. Okay, there we go. Oh, and there's a plastic, like a wire guide, wire holder right there. Well, so the fender is off, a little dirty. And now we have access to the tail light, the actual plugs and whatnot. Sorry if you see the cat. That's a little garage buddy apparently. So yeah, these 2 come off. I believe that we need to reuse 2 of these grommets and 2 of these metal inserts, and then we'll unplug everything and we'll start going from there. There's another plastic clip here for the wires. Pop it out of the way. We'll go ahead and disconnect our wire to the brake light. Oh, sorry. Brake light here. And then these are our turn signal. Yeah, I really don't like the way that I'm doing this, but I'm pressing the tab to lift the locking clip. I'm getting my pick under there, prying it up a little bit, and then just pulling and just pull it out. I don't know why I couldn't get them to release properly. Okay, so it is loose. I think the only thing on here, yeah, is the overflow hose. And it also has another one of those plastic holders. Let's try that out. There we go. I'm probably going to clean that up a little bit, and then we'll start on installing the tail delete. The two bolts that came out of here, I will be reusing those. They are if you get yours mixed up, they are the shorter ones that don't have washers on them. I'm going to be reusing those in the kit, there are 4 washers. Here's 2 of them. So these are going to be going here underneath. This way. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to leave those loose, and then I will look at mounting. We need to get the grommets off of the old tail. Pop the inserts out. I think we only need to reuse 2. And then the grommets, you should be able to push them in and they'll pop out. We'll just go ahead and end up just putting these back together for now. We'll set them to the side. When we come back to them, we'll put them on the bike. We'll connect our factory adapter. There's our brake light. Should be ready for a test. I reconnected my battery as well. There we go. So we got the running light. There is our handbrake. Our foot brake works. And then we'll test signals. So there's your right. There's your left. And of course we do have the hyper flash because we have not installed the relay yet. So I would show this first, and now we'll put the relay in, and we'll see how much slower that this actually runs. The 250 relay is over here on this side. The 300 relay is right here, right next to the battery. So to test that, connect it, and now, and there we go. No more hyper flash. I'm sorry, the lens is dirty. There's not an insert or anything I can pull off of this relay to put on here, so I think I'll end up having to just zip tie this in place, which I mean, it'll probably be fine. We need to figure out what to do with all this excess. So I know in the TST video, they took all of this wiring and he tucked it under here, and it's underneath the fender, exposed to whatever debris comes from the tire. I don't like that at all. I'm going to go another route. I'm pretty sure that I can tuck the wiring. I think I can get it between the plate and the fender. So I think that's what I'm going to shoot for. And then I'll probably put zip ties here. Something like that. We'll see. Try to hold it in place. I have the relay. It's kind of double zip tied on there. So hopefully that stays. So it looks like there's just enough room that we can get these wires underneath the fender. I think we can just get this stuff. It looks like it'll fit pretty close to where I've got it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some zip ties on there, and just to make sure I got everything secured. Okay, I think we're ready for our grommets. So remember, small side down, tall side up, or the flange side up, sorry. It has been a long day. We'll go ahead and get our bolt through, grab my other bolt, and I'll go ahead and run it through. So these are the bolt heads here. I'll finish with a hand tool. Go ahead and put this little clip back into the fender. Just presses in. You gotta remember to put these once we put the tool bag back on here, we reuse the nuts that were on the bottom. So it may not be the best view, but you can kind of see up under here. I guess I should have shown this when I was taking everything apart. Yeah. I don't think I'll need to hold those bottom nuts, but I might. Nope. So far, no. Bag is mounted. We'll still have to do something with the drain tube here. I think I may just end up having to try to clip it or something. Something like this. I'll end up putting a zip tie here somewhere. I'm just gonna double check everything before we start buttoning everything up. Know a lot of guys remove the straps. I actually use mine whenever I pivot the bike on the kickstand. I use it as a grab point, so I'll probably keep it for now, but most likely in the future I'll end up getting rid of it. Ooh, there we go. That looks pretty. So, we went from this big ugly thing, and I can't believe like how low this thing, I mean it came down almost to mid-tire. That's pretty low. And we got a nice clean looking back end on this. So I'm pretty excited. Let's give it one more go. Turn it on one more time. Let's see. That looks pretty clear to me. Like I said, I still need to take it out in the daylight, see how it is. The weather just hasn't been that great. But there we go. We got it on the bike. Got everything mounted up. And I mean, that is not bad looking at all. Yeah, super happy about it. Super pumped. When I get a chance, I may end up doing like a video in the daylight so you can actually see better. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna end up probably pretty soon doing these other mods. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.